We live. We
Oh, we
are
live?
live.
We live now? We ready? We rocking?
I'm excited
All right,
here.
let's do it.
I'm trying.
Let's do it. We live.
We are live. I'm sitting here. Um, I'm getting ready to share it with people. So everybody who's looking at this, I
Okay.
want you guys to share, share, share. I'm
Can I
excited.
zoom this in, Didi? Is there a way to zoom it in to where I just see you and not the blank space at the bottom? Or is that just how StreamYard is?
We live, baby. This is how it is. This is
Okay.
how it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure. I just want to make sure. I'm a baby to the StreamYard, so I apologize.
You I see you good. I see you, y'all. I know you're like, who are you talking to? And for the folks who know him, is oh my god, oh my god. So this is Quasheem D Heron. Am I saying your name right?
You are saying it correctly.
I will jack
You are
somebody.
saying it right.
I jack people's name up. People who know me. They
Really?
get nervous. They get very nervous if someone that they're trying to introduce me to, they know I'm going to jack their name up, and I just kind of like let them know, look, this was going to go down. I'm going to mess your name up. So if your name is Jeff, I'm gonna call you Tony by the end of the day. That's just the way it goes down.
Gotcha. I get it. I understand completely. Like, but everybody tears up my name though, so it's a normal thing for me.
Oh wow, wow. So I you know
Quite normal. Quite
I
normal.
love her. I love your name. Is your name like deep rooted into anything? Is there a meaning behind it?
It is.
Oh, tell
It is.
us.
My name is Swahili. Quasheem is a Swahili name. My parents, for their last child, I was my mom's third child and my dad's second. My dad's third child as well, but they both had kids before they were married with different people. But my mom said she wanted her last child, whether it be a boy or girl, to have an African name. So my grandmother, God rest her soul, gave my mom an African book of names, and she had a girl name set aside, and she had a guy name set aside. And so my name, which was the guy named Quasheem, it means gifted child in Swahili. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. I love that. I love that. Yo, check it out. Yo, for all the folks who are tuning in right now, we got Quasheen D. Heron on the line. And he's got quite a few projects that are getting ready to come up. One of them, a couple of them are coming out in 2021. We've got Black
Yes,
Money. You play
yes,
Ace.
yes. Oh
we
man,
got
you know me already. Okay. All right.
we got Fishnets, and you play Uncle Trey.
Mhm.
You definitely got to tell us a little
Uncle
bit
Troy,
about that.
yes, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Troy.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
No, yes, you got it right, Uncle Troy. Yes, ma'am.
Untouchable, which you are a director, and
Yes,
Holla,
yes,
which you
yes,
also
yes.
did. Oh, I love it. I love
And
it.
also Whoa. And Whoa too. It's Holla, Whoa, and Untouchable. All three uh black casted films from top to bottom. And those are all coming out in 2021. And I directed and executive produced and produced all of them with me and my best friend and brother slash business partner, Booker Snow. So yeah.
That's what's up. That is what's up. So, you guys, here you have it. I've got this very talented gentleman. I'm actually, while I'm talking to him, I'm sharing. So, I want you guys to share, 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 share. So, I want you to share, share. So, anyway, if you guys got any comments or anything else like that that you guys would like to go ahead and do that, you're more than welcome to do that. So, anyway, um, so you're a director. You're doing some acting as well. Your IMDb is very impressive. What made you start down this? How did you like? What
so
did? Yeah.
it's funny. It's quite funny when I get that question. And because I really would be remiss if I didn't say it started at the age of maybe 8 or 9. And the reason why I say that is because my mom, she was the head youth director at Grace Temple Missionary Baptist Church in Tucson, Arizona. And she was the head of the Easter plays and the Christmas plays. And I remember as a kid getting in the car about to head to practices. Now, before I had to practice, let's just rewind about 2, 3 hours before we leave for practice. My mom would come in my room and say, "Hey, you're going to be doing this role. Here's the script." Okay. I get in the car. She snatches the script away and says, "You better know it."
Ooh,
So I would get to practices and I'll be around my colleagues and they'd be like, "Where's your paper?" Mind you, they're just now getting the script that day. And I'm
wow.
telling them, I know it. And they're like, "What? How do you know it already? We just got the script today." So I remember we'd be sitting there in practice. They'd be looking at me like, "It's your line." I'm like, "No, it's your line. And I'm waiting on you." And they're like, "How do you know this?" I said, "Because I already know the script." So from the age of 8 all the way to maybe 16, 17 years old, my mom always casted me as the star of almost every single play that we did. And my mom used to tell me the reason why she casted me as a star was because, not because I was her son, but because I was very talented and I could learn scripts very, very well. So after that
Wow.
happened, I put acting to the side. Like I jumped into the military, I jumped into working. I just put that whole facade to the side. I was like, maybe I'll pick it up later down the line. I wanted to be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to school, be a lawyer, be a business owner, things of that nature. Went to the military, got out the military, and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was stationed in Virginia. Moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I don't know, like I was in school, everything was good. I was in a relationship at the time, and then I branched away, moved to South Carolina, and then I just started like helping a lot of people with different entrepreneurships that they had. So in my eyes, I felt like my calling was to help people get to their dream and just live vicariously through them. So I
Wow.
remember the day I woke up, I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast. This is when he first started. This was his pilot. Like he wasn't even doing the podcast yet. He was just doing it as like a trial basis. And I was like, "Yo, people told me I got a perfect voice to be a DJ, but I don't want to be a DJ because of I'm going to be too bluntly honest to artists and tell them that they suck." So if I tell them that they suck, they might get mad at me, might get in fights. It's just not going to go too well. So I said, I can't be a DJ. But when I thought about being a podcaster, I said, wow, you can just talk what's on your mind and speak how you feel, and people got to listen to you. Oh, I love that. So I started a podcast. And with that podcast, I wanted to bring awareness to Black kings and queens. I wanted to bring the majestic back and the royal walk that we are supposed to have. Period. Because what really threw me for a loop was when everybody went to see Black Panther. It broke all of these records and things, but nobody got the real message from Black Panther, which was Wakanda could be whatever you wanted it to be. It's not a movie. So anything you want to be Wakanda, come together, join forces, and build it, and they'll come. So I remember being doing my podcast. I ended up meeting a young lady named Marilyn Frazier, and she came on as a guest. And I was like, man, I was so stunned by her aura. She was in Black Panther. She was in Shots Fired. She was in so many different projects. And I remember her telling me that a lady named Kima Mungo, what she's a director, she was looking for military people for a movie. I'm like, for a movie? Now, mind you, Dee, I had a mohawk, blonde in my hair, and I was
Blood.
stuck. Like you couldn't tell me nothing, yo. I was one of them pretty.
Post it up. You got to post it up.
Listen, is it crazy? Is it crazy? Yes, and I was a supervisor at a telecommunications company.
Oh God,
So
I can drink
she
behind
she
that.
she tells me about the role. She tells me about this role, right? And I'm like, I'm ex-military. Why not? I'm like, we'll just take a picture and then see if she likes my look and then go from there. So she sends her the picture. She said, oh, I love his look. I want to cast him. But the military roles are gone, but I do have a role for like a Black Houston resident. And this is for the movie 24. So I've never been on set before. Now, mind you, I've done podcasts, I've done host of events, but I've never been on an actual set. So I remember going to the not the casting call, but the dress rehearsal. So basically, you have to go and put on your costume. And I went in there. The lady was like, I knew I already had to cut my hair. I already cut my hair. I cut my hair all the way down, took my blonde out. I was cool. Now, mind you, it was already hard enough to do that. So the lady goes, all right, you're all good to go. Just make sure you take care of this before you come tomorrow. I said, wait, take care of what? Like, I'm confused. What you talking about? Now, people know me. They know I ain't never shaved a day in my life. When I was in the military, I ain't have to shave. When I got out the military, I finally got my mustache and finally grew a little bit of beard that I love and really enjoy. And when she said, you got to shave that, I was like, yo, wait a minute. I don't know if I want it that bad. This is something I don't even know if I want to do. So I remember going into my barber's chair. Shout out to Deuce the Barber, Ezra Jackson. And I remember telling him, hey, I need you to shave my face because they need me to shave before the role, right? So I'm I come there, sitting in the chair. My nephew Monte's there too. And my barber says, I'm not going to do it. You got to do it. I said, time out. Wait a minute. I can't do that. Like you're telling me I have to shave my own face? No, I'm not doing it. You're the barber. I'm paying you. You do it. He said, I'm telling you, if you do it, it's gonna mean so much more. I said, okay. I sat in that chair for 20 minutes, DD. Didn't touch anything. He finally gave me the clippers. I cut it, right? I cut off all my facial hair. He cleaned it up. And I remember going to set the next day. It was all the way in what Shelby, Shelby, South Carolina,
No,
whatever. So I, what is it? North Carolina? Is that North Carolina too?
uh, you know what?
Is it Shelby? I don't know if it's Shelby. I don't know if it's Shelby or not. I'm trying to think of the actual city. It'll come to me in a minute. But
Carolina, but I don't want them
no,
saying
this was in South Carolina.
show.
What, whatever. It's a far city. Look up the movie. It'll tell you where the city is.
Okay.
So I get to this city and I walk out and I see Andre from Empire. I see the uncle from ATL. I see all these big name stars. And I walk out on set and I fell in love, Dee Dee. It was
You
like,
felt acting.
I don't know if you ever met like a first love to where once you touch it, once you see it, you'll do anything just to feel it again. That's where I
Mhm.
was at with it. So I was like, I need to make sure I'm around this. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's a fluke. So then I found other extra roles to do, and it felt the exact same every time I step on set. Every time I step on set, I feel the exact same. So when that happened, I then took it upon myself to pursue a dream that a lot of people can't conquer. And I must say, after starting out as an extra, becoming principal, and getting an agent and being able to be in movies and TV shows all within a year, when most people have been doing extra work 2, 3, 4, 5 years and having no escape, I always had a plan. So like that's to answer your question without going too into detail because it really stems from my hunger for acting as a kid and the love of it growing so deep rooted to where as soon as I walked on set, and I'm talking about I like the stuff that people hate. I like burning up in the hot sun. I like waiting and not knowing when you're going on. I like just sitting there looking and soaking it up. I like sitting in one spot until they tell me to go. Like that's the grunt work that I love, and that's what I love the most. I'm like, I don't love the glamour and everything else that everybody else loves. That's all fine and good. But the reason why I know I love it the most is because I love the parts that people hate.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you kind of answered it, but um, once you got in there and you started soaking it up, you started loving it. Were there anybody that you could say that's who I wanted? That's who I inspired to to take my career to the next level. You know, and I always say Denzel Washington because I love me some Denzel, and he's on
Oh
my
yeah,
bucket.
definitely. That's me. I'm the next. I'm the next Denzel, and I tell people this all the time. And the reason why is because his work ethic and the way that he came about and the way he started, I'm not going to stop till I make it to that plateau. Because to me, there is no better than Denzel. There's roles that may have been better than him, but the way that he approaches everything that he's ever done, that's how I look at things. Like it don't matter if I'm doing a short film, a small film, a big film. I bring the same tenacity, the
Every
same
time.
aggressiveness, the same delivery as if Steven Spielberg was in the chair or as if Tom, Dick, and Harry were in the other one. I don't care who's there. It don't. I don't have to um, get ready. I'm already ready, no matter who I'm actually doing the project for. So
So what kind of how'd you get into the directing? Because I see on your IMDb, I see you got for directing. Like, you know, what got you into that?
so okay. So, well, first, let me say this. I never wanted to be a director. I
Oh,
never wanted to be a director. Never. Never thought of it. Never was on my mind. Never was on my list. Um, I feel like I got, uh, I feel like I got tricked into it and then blessed to do it. And the reason why I mean that is, so my
bamboo.
business partner slash brother, Booker Snow. Yes, it was shambles, shambles, definitely. So Booker Snow reaches out to me. He says, "Hey, I got this poem book I'm about to put out. I want you to star in the video." And I said, "Okay, cool." So the cameraman comes to the house. I get the people. I cast it, not knowing what I'm doing. I just want right there. I just messed up. I just casted the video, not knowing what I just did. Then second thing, there's no script really. There's like he gave me like a few words and then a few things he wanted to capture. All of a sudden, I'm directing, and I don't even notice it. Because I remember when he came to me and he told me after it was done, he said, "You know you done messed up, right?" I said, "What you talking about?" He said,
Because now folks
"This is
gonna
really
want you
good." I
some
said,
direct.
"Of course it's good. What you mean?" He said, "You know what you just did, right?" I said, "No, what are you talking about?" He said, "You just directed a project." He said, "You're a director." I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "I'm not a director, but." He said, "Okay." So I reach out to him because he wants to help me write a short film idea I had. Now, he writes it and he says, "You should direct it." I said, "I know nothing about directing, nothing." So the film is called Holla. And I remember he sends me the script. I love it. I had nobody cast it. And I was like, well, I can't act in it myself if he wants me to direct. So now I got to find somebody that is not me, as good as me. And that's what really brought me to Dante Keith. Then after that, I said I need a top notch woman. That's what brought me to Naisha Bell. Me and her were in Fatal Attraction together. And then I said I need some pizzazz with their friends. And that's what brought me to Morgan Brock and then brought me a little bit of muscle from Alex Morris. And I remember our first Zoom rehearsal. I'm thinking Booker is going to take over this whole thing, and I'm just going to sit and relax and pay attention to the show. The day of the first rehearsal table read, Booker puts his phone on mute and turns off his camera. He introduces himself and then takes himself off the whole entire Zoom call. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm sitting there and we're going through the table read, and I catch myself stopping people, giving them pointers on how to deliver this. or how I want to hear this, or what I want to see with this. And then it hit me. I became a director that day. And the reason why was because I finally figured out that I love seeing people get to the best of their ability
That was the next
without
question.
me being the star attraction.
Yeah, I was
Correct.
gonna, I was gonna ask you because I've talked to just in casual talking to a couple of my friends who are directors, and it's very interesting. A lot of them that I talk to, with the exception of maybe one or two, they don't start off saying I'm going to be a director. They usually say I want to act, but once they get the bug, just like the bug of acting, it's like they love it. They love to see their work come into manifest into something. And Erlina, she said God will make room for your gifts. So I think that's pretty cool. So thank you,
It's the
Erlina, for
truth.
saying
It's the truth.
it's so true. That
Because
is so,
another thing, D, what I realize as a director is the way that I can bless people more than me just acting, because I feel like me acting, it's the biggest outlet that will be able to unleash a message, whether it be positive, negative, entertainment. It's the quickest platform. But one thing about directing that people don't realize is it is the most intricate outlet to be able to influence, uplift, and motivate future entrepreneurs and future entertainers to continue their craft and continue the best of their ability delivering their best performance. And that to me is the part that gets me about directing.
and for you guys who are tuning in, one of the movies that he has directed was called Holler, which is pretty cool. It was written by Booker Snow and Courtney. The music was by Courtney Nicole. And I don't want to mess up. Like I told you guys
Mhm.
before, I'm messing up somebody's name. But her name was Courtney Nicole Steinporter. Am I saying it right?
Standing it. Is it stand? Yeah, stand finder. That's what I say. But
Yes.
it's French.
Check
So
her out. Check her out.
Courtney was
She
sorry.
Yes, amazing. These people are amazing. So now I'm going to get to the portion. This is a little bit different. I'm incorporating what I do on my radio show, which, by the way, guys, I have a new schedule for the radio show. You can catch me on Thursdays on 106tbcradio.com at 8 p.m. You are more than welcome to join in on my conversations and talk about matters of the heart, and that number is 336-698 um 3005 extension one. I had to think about that. But anyway, the question is, I already put the poll up. Let's just say you got two friends, and they're your good friends, they're
Hmm.
your best, and they are married to other people, but you happen to come across some pictures that are real questionable in their phone or however you came across them. How would you handle it? Would you talk to them or just walk away from it? And this is the question of the week,
Well,
guys.
if they my friends,
They're
if they're my friends, and
your
because I keep it blunt, I'm blunt and honest with my friends. I'm gonna say, hey, listen, you're married now. That picture can mess up your marriage, and that can mess up our whole friendship circle because we all still hang out. So let's go ahead and delete that. Hopefully, you kept it in your mind as a mind reminiscent moment, but you can't keep that in your phone. You can't put it in no folder. You can't send it to unknown PO box. Just delete it and keep it moving because we don't want to have no situations to where now we gotta fisticuffs or we got somebody angry over here because there's pictures coming out because you never know when you might want to be petty. Sometimes pettiness can just come out of nowhere.
so
So
2020 2020 was the most pettiest year I've ever seen in my life. So I think everybody's saying that.
it was,
Yes.
man.
It oh my god, crazy.
It's
Crazy.
it reminds me of a story, DD,
Oh,
if
go
I
ahead.
may tell the story. So as an actor, and I tell people like I still yearn to act more than I direct, but they're both intertwining. But like this story to me is a resonate story to other actors out there. So when I lost my job in 2019, I remember not knowing what I wanted to do, but I said, you know what? I lost the job because I kept taking castings where I had to take more time off and I was away from the job and things were just happening out of my control. But as soon as I stepped away and stepped into my faith and started really thinking positive and really getting to what I really wanted to do, that's when the casting started coming. Now, don't get me wrong, the castings came and so the turmoil came. I mean, it got all the way to the point where I almost lost my car. I was homeless without an address, but had places to lay my head. But I would drive clear out of nowhere for just a speck of a camera to be on me, a speck of a line to be able to say, because that's how deep I wanted to make it. And the story that really resonates to me the most is I went to a casting call in South Carolina for this movie called Negative Exposure. And it was a huge casting call. It was the last day. I wake up, I'm in Charlotte at the time. It's in Columbia. And they got maybe a couple hours left before they're done auditions. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna make it. And then the Lord told me to just get up. So I got up. I reached out to the lady. She didn't reply back. I said, you know what? Put on your nice sweater, put on your nice jeans and nice shoes, get on this road. So I get on the road and I get there. And right before I got there, I remember calling my dad. We prayed and I just felt really good. And I remember going in there and nobody was at the front desk. Nobody was there to check me in. They finally get me, they're eating lunch. I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So they don't give me any sides. They don't give me a script. And all of a sudden, I remember Miss Kathy came to me and she said, "Here's the script book." So I'm looking through the script book. I probably got to look through that script book maybe 2 minutes, 2 3 minutes. And she was like, she came back and was like, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yeah, why not? I'm ready." She's like, "You sure?" I said, "Excuse me." I said, "Yeah, I'm ready. No worries." So we're walking into the room and she looks at me and she says, "Are you really ready for what you're about to walk into?" I said, "Yeah, I'm born ready. This is what I do." So I'm walking in there. This is like one of my first big casting calls, and it's 7 people at a table, 2 people on a camera, 2 people over here, and it's so many people in this one room. And I remember stepping in there, and the guy goes, Pastor Sister Eric. So he goes, "Hey, what's going on? Tell us your name." I told him my name. He's like, "Anybody ever told you you look like Michael Jordan?" Of course, it's Michael B. Jordan. I get that all the time when I go to different casting calls. So we laughed about that. And I remember they made me do the table read. Now, mind you, I've only read this one time, but I read it with such conviction and I read it with such personification that they loved what they saw and they ended up casting me. I remember going out there, taping and filming for 2 days, and then preparing for this release. The trailer drops, I put it everywhere. When I say I put it everywhere, I put it everywhere, everywhere it could be. Every one of my friends was posting it. I sent it to everybody, no matter what state, what city they were in, and everybody wanted to see this film. And we get a release date, and I'm putting it. I'm talking about everybody about the release date. I have people buying it early. Then a day before the movie comes out, I put a post up on Facebook because I was so humbled to be able to say I'm in my first feature film as a co-actor with lines, and it's going to be an impactful scene. I get a call that night, and that call was I missed it, and it said the director's name on it, and I said, "What in the world?" And then I look at my phone and it's a long message. Now, if people don't know about acting, it is you're not guaranteed on the camera until you see the final cut. And sometimes you don't make the final cut. So finding out that my scene was cut from that movie was
Mm,
crushing to me.
imagine.
And
Mm,
but the story that I want people to get is the reaction I had after it happened. So right when it happened, I called him back. We had a great phone conversation, and I
mm.
was at peace with it. I thanked them for the opportunity. They paid me one of my biggest checks, and I just was like, I'm not gonna flip out because at the end of the day, it's just business.
It's just
And
been.
right after that phone hung up, a month later, I got casted to be a star in Black Money.
Wow.
And I flew out to Texas and did a role. Now I need y'all to picture this. I'm I'm promoting a film where I got maybe one scene or two scenes with a few lines in them, and I got cut from it. Then I get casted for a starring role in a feature film movie. And I tell people it's not ironic, it's not luck. It's about the faith you have in yourself and the faith you have in God. Because when I tell y'all to God be the glory, to God be the grace, that's not to say that to y'all to be cliche. I've been saying that since I first started. Whether I was sleeping in my car for a role, whether I was borrowing money to get down the street, whether I was doing anything I had to do to make it, I still gave him all the glory and the grace. And what I'm telling y'all is this: anytime something is taken from you, well, the way you react is whether or not it's going to be taken for a reason or taken for granted. It's like
Yeah.
that meme where that little girl had that bear and didn't want to give the bear to Jesus, even though he had the bigger bear behind him. I'll let the Lord take anything from me. He took my relationship, he took people away, but one thing he never took was my faith. I don't
Mm,
care how I get there or how what it looks like. It could be ugly, but one thing is for sure and one thing's for certain. It's going to be a testimony, and I know I'm going to make it because I'm built for that. So what I proved in that moment was my emotions ain't in it. And I'm here to tell each one of you actors and entrepreneurs, when you learn to compartmentalize your personal feelings and your business feelings, that's when you'll take over. And I've mastered that.
there you go. There you go. Sometimes, and I love that story that you said. It's very, not only it's inspiring, it's educational, and it causes you to reflect and to really think. Because a lot of times when we're out here in this industry, whether it's entertainment or it's corporate or however you may look at it, sometimes you have to realize business is business, and how you react to a I guess somebody doing something to you, or how you react to, in your case, how you just knew you had the part and then you got cut at the last moment. It matters at the end of the day, because what happens is that other people are looking at you, and when we think nobody's looking at us, folks are looking at us. They're looking at us to see how we're going to react to a certain situation. They're looking at us to see if we're going to be just as petty, or stoop to a level that maybe is not as necessary to the next person. They're looking, they're seeing how you react to that. And being professional like you were, not letting your faith be taken away. Look at you. You was in the movie Black Money, which is going to come out in, by the way, 2021, and you play Ace. So,
Yes,
which is amazing. Which
yes.
is amazing.
And I must say with that role, Dee Dee, it's it's funny because I remember getting casted for it. And I remember them telling us when we were going to be flying to Dallas to shoot it, well, to Texas to shoot it, and New York to shoot it, and all these different places. And I remember saying to myself, okay, Q, you need to create this character So this guy just got out of jail. We need to get a jail body. This guy he's a New York type of thug. So we need to get a New York slang. You know what I'm saying, son? So when I come into it, I took a whole 40 to 50 days and made this character. So when I landed, I was him. And I remember
But
the
you
director saying to me, you bodied that because you were really him. The method acting that you brought made everybody else bring their A game times two. Because from the
mhm.
time we started doing rehearsals, I was there.
You was that
So
character.
I love that role. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I remember when even when they would say cut Dee Dee, somebody would bump into me and I'd be like, yo, watch where the fuck you walking, son. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing out here, B. Like that's how I was because I was so into him. And it's like I can channel him so quickly. It's funny. So it's an amazing feat to see what he did with something that I didn't even know was coming. I didn't even know this was coming. Didn't even know, Dee Dee. To be honest with you, I let the submission expire, and they sent me an email and said, "Did you still want to audition?" And I got that email, and that same day, I put my audition together. I almost broke my hand on one of the scenes because he slammed his hand on the table, and I felt great about it. 2 days later, they called me and casted me for it. But I say that to say you cannot measure what God wants to give you. You could be a nobody yesterday, today, and then wake up tomorrow and be one of the biggest names you ever thought you would be. But the
Eh,
question is, are you ready for that? And are you willing to sacrifice to get there? That's
there
the
you go.
biggest that's the biggest caveat. And that's what people don't understand is a lot of people ain't famous just because of luck. There is a lot of luck in it, but a lot of people are famous because they sacrificed and did what they did. I think the most biggest misconception that people have is Denzel is a overnight celebrity or an overnight actor. He's not. He was turned down as much as us, maybe even more. He just continued to take each no and then finally found that one yes and then pricked open that door and never let it close. And that's what you got to do. Like when people tell me they auditioned for something, but they didn't give it their all and they dropped the ball, I say, you missed out on your blessing. I said, there's not one time I'm going to say I auditioned and didn't give my all. Because as
Mhm.
soon as I do that, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. There's no excuse. As an actor, there's no excuse for you not to be able to bring your best on any audition, no matter how much time you have to prepare, no matter how much time it is before it shoots, or no matter who it's in front of. You could be in front of Oprah, you can be in front of Tyler Perry, you can be in front of Steven Spielberg, you can be in front of James Cameron. It does not matter. You need to be ready just like they're there at all times.
I love it.
Act like you already been in the end zone so you don't got to do the dance.
I love it. I love it. It has been a pleasure speaking to you. You are amazing,
Yes,
and you've actually inspired me. You have, and I hope that whoever listen to this that they are inspired. Um, I did have a young lady. She's older than me. She's like I think she's like 75 years old, and she told me she's a singer. And she said to me, I don't care if there's one person in the audience, or there's 10 people in the audience, or there's 5,000 people in the audience. I'm going to give my same performance every single time. And that's a blessing in itself. So, on that note,
love it.
how can people find you? Tell us that.
Well, first off, let me tell everybody right now. Checkmate Productions and Checkmate Enterprises is my baby. I am the CEO and the sole proprietor of that company. We put out films that people are scared to put out. We cast people that have never even done it or have done it a lot, but we want talented people that are hungry. We have Holla coming out this spring. We got Woe coming out right after that, and then we have Untouchable dropping in the summer. So, and then we have two comedies we're about to shoot, start shooting those in April and June. Those are the first one is actually called Loyal Through It All. We just casted that one. Then we have another comedy that's going to interject with that. And then we have an action movie that I'm actually starring in that we're going to be putting out. We're going to start filming that one in the summer as well. So make sure you guys log on to Instagram, type in the number two, the word words, and then checkmate, and then you will see everything that we got going on. My personal page is Quasheem, Quasheem. D is in Delta, Herring, Herring. The D is from my deceased grandfather, George Diamond Herring. Every Herring man has a D middle initial. Mine is Dewan, my dad's is Dwight, and then my deceased grandfather's is Diamond. So we always keep that D just for him. And also, you can find us for the Untouchable the movie on Instagram. And yeah, man, if you guys are interested, if you're an actress or actor and you want to get into the films that we got going on, go to two words checkmate at gmail.com and send me an email. If you're a crew member, we always looking for PAs. We're always looking for assistants. Shout out to my assistant, Paige Moore. Shout out to my set designer, Beth Felice. And shout out to my makeup extraordinaire, Zatina Atkinson. So though and my prop manager, Keith Dooley. So we really are a tight knit family in Checkmate. When you do one thing with us, you continue to do it with us. We have a pretty tight knit family. Shout out to the Morgan Brocks, the Nisha Bells, the Dante Keys, the Alex Moores, the Ziri Rice, the Taisha Van Burens, the Oceana Andersons, the Adara Ragsdale, and the Letitia Hines. So yeah, so it's really big when it comes to this type of thing. I love everybody and I love great energy. So if you can bring that and you want to work with me, I want to work with you. We even let people travel. Our wardrobe designer came all the way from Texas. We had an
Wow.
actress that came all the way from Atlanta. I don't care where you live. If you bring that vibe, we'll make sure we take care of you. We'll put you in a room. We'll take care of your room and board, and we'll make sure that we become a tight knit family. It's about the long dollar and not the short dime. When you learn that, that's what two words checkmate means. And that's just how
Woo!
it goes, man. It's God's work, our hands. And that's what I tell people. This is God's work and it's our hands. Because he can work as much as you want to, but if you're not willing to get your hands dirty, he's not gonna bless you.
Mhm. There you go. There you go. I got to say one thing before we go. This is a
Of course.
conversation we had before we went live. And Rashid said to me, he was like, first of all, you're amazing. Everything you're doing is
Thank
freaking
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
I,
Thank you,
I'm like,
man. Thank you.
and so he was like, you're going to interview little old me. And I'm like, listen, let me tell you something. When you are in a situation, in a platform where you can help the next person, whether it's putting them in a movie or producing or whatever, I want to bring you on my show. And I want you to talk about it because not enough people know that folks like yourself is out there. So I want to thank you so much for coming on my show. I am so inspired by you.
Yes.
I pray for nothing but
Thank you.
blessing and continuously doing
You
what you're
too.
doing. And very happy for you.
Thank you.
And thank you for going live with me. I appreciate it.
Of
Guys,
course, Miss Didi. Now, everybody, make sure y'all go check out the official trailer for Holla. It is out now. Y'all can go to Vimeo, type in Holla official trailer, or you can go to the two words checkmate and see the official trailer. As you can see, I'm always promoting, and y'all tell me what y'all think, and we'll be coming to y'all soon.
yes.
Oh, Didi, I
One
did
more
want
thing.
to tell you this. I am currently in London. I'm currently in London,
Oh,
and I don't think people know that. I'm currently in London. Right now, it's almost 2 in the morning, and I'm actually out here visiting family. And I actually just got booked for my first role in London, so I will be doing some filming in London.
my God. That's what's oh my goodness. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm
Thank you.
so happy
Thank
for
you.
you. So happy
Appreciate
for
you.
you. I love it. I love it. You guys, here you have it. We've got an awesome gentleman on the line with us right now. I will be going live again. If you guys want to know the next time that I'm going live, I would love for you guys to follow me. Support, support, support. Go to my new page, which is called Live with Dee Dee Walker. You'll see all of my other lives that I've done last year. Quasheem is the first live of this year. This is and go ahead. I got another live I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Check out who I have coming on then. And I got some more folks that
Oh,
I'm
that's
going
my
to
boy
be.
right there. That's my boy
Oh,
right there. You know that's my
oh,
boy right there.
it's actually a
Yes, ma'am.
remix. The interview. He was. I know. I keep telling these people I'm gonna get off, but I got to tell this story. I call up Brent, and whenever I ask Brent to do something for me, he goes, "Okay, okay." So I'm like, Brent, I want to start going live with people. Come on. He was like, okay. So now we're going to do a remix because Brent got a lot of stuff going on out there. And I want to also share that with people. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go and check you out. Tomorrow's my interview with Brent. I'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also check me
Shout
out
out
on
to
the
Brent
radio.
Gaskins. What's up, King?
Brent Gaskins. You can also check me out on radio. I'm going to
Yes.
be on every Thursday. It's called, my show is actually called Dee Dee Walker Live Radio. It's the Dee Dee Walker Live Show. And I talk about issues and matters of the heart. I noticed somebody else said that they had a show of matters of the heart. Definitely check her show out too. It is amazing. But I also talk about it as well. So you guys can go ahead and join me on Thursdays. It's on 106tbcradio.com. And it's a 24-hour radio station. And if you got some music, sister, oh,